Call this meeting to order at 1 o'clock on April 22nd, 2016. Stand for pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. John.
Here.
Dale.
Here.
Ron is absent. Sean.
Here.
Troy's here. Okay. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? Want to give a report on your meeting?
No, no legal action been taken.
Huh?
No, I attended the Garrison Diversion meeting, and I'll report back later as soon as I compile my notes.
Okay.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion been made by Dale to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, we'll review the minutes from the April 8th meeting.
The first paragraph on the second page, motion by Wakefield to allow RS 911C to purchase a trailer and transfer fund. Maybe we should define what that is, what fund that is out of.
Okay.
It is the,
Comes out of weed.
yeah, county weed, just parentheses maybe if you want, or do away with the RS 911C and just put county weed.
Yeah.
May I read that to you? Motion by Wakefield to allow the purchase of a trailer and transfer pump out of weed. Second by Peterson, called 3 times. That sound good?
How about just motion by Wakefield to allow the county weed fund to purchase a trailer and transfer pump?
Okay.
Right after the resolution, Chairman Olson opened the floor to Ferris Axberg to discuss Vanguard software. There was discussion on the software and what, if any, benefits it has to the county.
If any.
what if any benefits it has? Because we discussed the pros and cons of it. General election fund. Commissioner liking we're not taking out the general election fund.
Anybody see anything else in the minutes?
I'd move to approve the minutes as amended and dispense with the reading.
I moved by Sean to approve the meeting minutes as amended and dispense with the reading. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Okay. Move on to the bills.
The only correction the only added one is this one. Kelly is gonna get some new monitors, so or dual monitors for her and Jess. So if we could just add that one.
Oh, they didn't fail?
Hmm?
They didn't, their monitors didn't
No.
fail?
They didn't fail, so they didn't monitors?
They're getting dual monitors.
They're setting up, but they're adding a monitor to their workstation, so they have two.
Oh,
So they can have the one program that has to be monitored all the time, up at all times, and then have their own.
that money's in their budget?
It's coming out of DPF, document preservation.
Oh, and that's pretty limited what that can be used for, I
Right.
think.
Yep.
You guys, I don't know if we've talked about this before. We better not talk about it right now anyway. Maybe during monthly office reports I'll talk about a little bit. About changes to a recorder's job, county recorders, as of like the 1st of March, I think.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably have to put that on the agenda for next meeting, so that.
The next meeting will be like the monthly office reports.
Well, also the recorder's notified that we're gonna talk about it. So she can explain their changes.
You want me to?
Well, yeah, you can. You like opposing points of view.
Oh, that's pretty factual.
I don't know, opposing points of view. But yeah, we can talk about it. What's the general expense? Number 20 on the list. General expense, CPT1.
Cooperstown.
Okay.
Yep, cities.
Oh, on that abatement?
That's what you're talking about, right? That abatement? Yeah.
Any other questions on the bills?
I assume that's payment for graders.
Yeah.
That's under financial one. How long do those run?
We're done in 18 or then 17?
15 is when they started.
5 18. Yeah.
That's so good.
How can that be?
What's wrong?
Did I even notice that on it? I don't know.
I didn't use the one.
How can that be?
Machine?
No. This one.
With the garments?
Huh?
The garment.
Takes it all?
Ouch.
Owie. What?
He hasn't switched it over yet.
What?
He hasn't switched it over yet.
Looked at it before.
State's attorneys.
Fooling around about getting what they want.
It only takes so much for each one.
Well, this is a 2-week pay period, right?
Yeah, right.
Jamie is supposed to switch this over?
He said that he was gonna do it last month.
To what?
Get it so that his Nelson County and Griggs County cell phone were the same.
Oh.
Full price for fuel assistance. I move to approve the bills with the addition.
Monitors?
Monitors.
Been moved by Sean to approve the bills as presented with the addition of the bill from TJ's Electronics. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. She's showing me that because Jamie was supposed to get that phone switched over.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. Wayne?
That's page 11.
No.
County structures required to install and channel profiles. We got a letter envelope saying that we had done it in 2015. They claimed there was 2 bridges were done in 2012, or they weren't done in 2015. Well, I looked through my files and I found the records that said it was done in 2015. But we did them again, and so then I wrote a letter. Oh, yeah, it just says that,
Just written them all. So we need.
I'll send a copy of 2015 inspection sheets along with the 2016 inspection sheets.
You're very sorry for them.
Suppose you go find copies of the 2015 and 2016 SCO and town reports. as requested. We did inspect Scour and Channel in 2015, and that is why I included in the packet to complete your records. It also shows what is and isn't happening to the channels by comparing the TVs. If there's anything else I can do, let me know.
Very sorry for your mistake, Bernard.
I didn't quite say that. Thank you. And then the other issue was the chip seal project. That letter there. Well, I called the Friday after the meeting, the last meeting, I called him. And he'd been submitting bids all night, or completing bids for the projects that were going to be opened on that Friday. And so I talked to his office person there, and she said she would let him know on Monday, and that she'd let him know to give me a call. And I waited for almost 2 weeks, and there was no calls, and so I called him. Well, I sent his email. And 10 minutes after the email was sent, I got a call.
Good deal.
You want me to read it, or how about it? This email is concerning the chip seal projects for Griggs County that did not get completed in 2015. Griggs County Commissioners decided last fall to assess liquidated damages from last fall through the winter because the project wasn't completed as the contract stated. I was requested to contact you to see what your plans were for this year for completion of the project. As I talked to Mary from your office on 4/8/2016, she said she would let you know on Monday the 11th about accumulating liquid damages and that you would call me. I have not heard from you at this time. Could please email me with a response. That would be great. Or call me at 701-797-3420. Again, it was cordial. And so he did call, and said, well, I don't know if it's even worth coming then if we're liquidating damages all winter. But, well, I said, we just wanted to start, talking about the project, seeing what your idea was, when you were gonna probably start working on it. And I said, I see you got a lot more bids during the letting on that Friday. Look at it, a bunch of more work. Well, of course, he said, well, we did continue chip sealing until the 12th, I think, or 15th of September, but it probably was in Minnesota, maybe. Right. And so being the state has that regulation, or says that chip seals can't be completed after the 1st of September, he doesn't think that he should have been charged. Well, I said we did assess the damages, and there might be negotiations coming on or whatever, but we just want to make sure that we are close to the top of the list or number one on the list.
Right.
Well, he said the low limits are, well, I said Highway 200, there's no low limit on Highway 200, and I think you were going to get the chips from Cheyenne. Is that true? Yes. Okay, and I said I don't know what the low limits are on that.
281?
281 would be up to Cheyenne.
I don't know.
Unless there's some other county board or something to the pit. But I said they should be coming off pretty soon. And he said, I said, what I would like you to do is either email me or write me a letter stating what your plans were, and not just a phone call.
Yeah.
So, all right, he said. So I've been waiting all week and there's been no letter coming and no email. But, and I did tell Jake from KLJ what I had done, but and what the response was. So just hoping that they will start going on again. The Mr. Strandberg said that we intend to do it. He said I paid the people for putting the signs up and whatever, and for taking them down and finally coming back. So we don't want it to go on until August 20th.
Yeah. And he certainly doesn't want to default on his record, and influence future bids. So, yeah, but I don't imagine we intend to charge the full liquidated damages, but there has to be something held over his head. So he's going to come back and do something.
I said, well, otherwise, what is the use of having a contract?
Right.
I said, if you're just going to fill up your table with a whole bunch of jobs and then.
Yeah. If it's
Yeah, I understand. This is setting the precedence. He said, this has never happened before. Well, it's happening now. So,
There's no recourse, you bid 1 million jobs just to get them, and
And
just
then
keep passing them down the line.
Throw out the little ones.
It's guaranteed work.
so that's my report. We did buy the trailer, we did buy the pump, and you guys paid for it.
It's in there, yeah.
Yep.
Is it possible we could get, is there a day when the road guys could come up and clean up the courthouse lot here? Knock down the weeds and get anything junk that's over there down to the.
With the rings on the Tuesday.
What's those big, what those cement rings? What are
Yeah,
they
get that
for?
stuff all over there, just pick it up and make it look decent.
What are they for?
I don't
I think
know.
before I think it was a manhole or something.
Yeah.
Put in, but
Load that gravel up and just get it so it's
it's level.
level and, you know, it's presentable so we can get it, we'll keep the weeds blowing that and those pallets and get all that stuff over there if we could.
Okay. We did have a retriever out and we've done quite a few miles.
So we're good?
How's it work?
Yeah. Brian on it. 9 miles an hour doesn't take long.
Do you mow it first then or not? Just
Not if you get it early enough.
I just went by the mowing the
Suppose
last.
the
Oh,
vegetation's dead enough, it just shakes it out or slow.
when it was dry, it really worked
Mm-hmm.
good. You know, you just chop it all up, and then on some of those windy days, the stuff was just going away.
Oh,
And then we've got rakes on 3 of the machines, and they're going to build another rake for Jake or for Jeff up there again. So we can put that in front, and then they rake all their stuff out of the way.
So we want to gravel back up?
Some places there is gravel, some places there is dirt. We're gonna start putting the culvert in on that 10 there, and when we unloaded the culvert, or before it was even unloaded, they strapped it on the locomotive and hauled it out to 36" by 60 feet. When they started rolling it off, they seen it was a crack. You'd seen. Well, about 15 years ago, there was some culverts from that H.B. Johnson Culvert Company. I know there was one for Ronda's Township. They rolled them off, and it kind of hit the approach, the inslope of the approach, and it cracked it.
Well,
When they made the culverts, they had too tight a crimp
oh.
on that spiral,
Mm-hmm.
so it was almost pinched off.
So to
So
pinch
they
the metal.
changed- Yeah, it pinched the metal, so it almost cracked, you know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if this was one of those culverts, probably.
It's been in inventory that long, you mean?
Well, Good Tyrol Township, you know,
Oh, there's the
I
other.
guess it's alright if you need 2 30-footers somewhere, huh?
Let's cut it in half and put the down in the middle. Right, yeah, and it's covered.
Oh, you were able to use it?
We haven't, yeah. But yes, Water Board, Tyrell Township, Jimmy Winkler talked to me. Policy that was put in place in 1998, there was a resolution made by the commissioners to pay 2/3 of any culvert or larger, even on one side. And it's never been changed, and Mr. Brooks, of course, brought it to the attention of them, and so I've always kind of kept it under, because we never budgeted enough money to pay for a bunch of culverts. So I had Jim, I said, go to Gilbert's and find out what the cost of the culvert is, and it could be about $3,300 for this culvert in a township road, and I've got a budget of $10,000. Myself, I don't think we can do it. It had to be voted on by the water board, commissioner of the area that the culvert was in, and the road superintendent. That's the 3 entities that made supposed to make a decision. I don't think, unless in the future or something, that we could, I don't know if you can build up a fund of any type. But I mean, what if a culvert, one of ours?
Right, but I mean, it is not mandatory that
No.
we participate. It's up to the discretion of, in this case, you, Troy, and the water board. But if we don't have.
I don't think it's ever been done, has it?
This was back in 1998. So we had a lot, we'd had disasters, since '93, and it was Kingsley Township chairman came in to the commissioners meeting, and there's a large culvert in the Ball Creek there, tributary that comes all the way from Red Willow, and it kept running over the culvert, washing the road out. I think there was kind of a partial bridge or something in there too, and they didn't have money to purchase I think it's a 7-foot or something, 7 or 8 foot culvert in there. So they requested assistance, and that's when that was put on as a resolution.
This culvert wasn't ever identified in any of the Kima disaster.
I don't remember if they got reimbursed from that, or if that year we didn't have a disaster. There was we had in '93, '94, I think,
Right.
5, 6.
The culvert's all right, they just want to lower it, is that the,
That one.
yeah.
Well, that's what I asked Jim. I said, is it shot? Yeah, he claimed it was a engineer that was walking through it or something last fall or whatever, and he fell through a hole. Well, I went down there on the way home one day. I stopped in there. But inside the culvert, it's a 60-inch, there was a little beaver dam, about like that, so there was too much water in there. It was running through the culvert, so I couldn't walk inside there to see it, because I said, well, maybe it could be fixed. If there was a small hole in the bottom, sometimes you can take and flip them over and say there's a weld a patch on it or something. But you can't really tell when there's water running through it.
Where's the culvert at?
Just be straight north of your bull.
Oh, down the bottom there, yeah.
Yep, down the bottom, and that go through. The Frank Zimfrick place they call it.
We don't think that was ever identified. There's some FEMA funds left, in some of these accounts. Do you think that was ever identified in any of those disaster years? Because if it was identified, then we could still spend those
They
dollars.
said it's not that old, the culvert, but it looks like it is. I don't know if that was ever.
If you don't think something's old, Ed, 10 years, I mean, you're pretty close.
This is a riveted culvert too, so we don't use it riveted for many years, but.
Maybe it wasn't new when they put it in there.
See, at one time there was like a boiler from a steam engine.
This is right on the west side. This is the west side where my holes are there, or on the east side. This is on the Maffel Road?
No, this is,
Yeah, on the west side, yeah.
this is on that Fred Arndt Road.
Yeah, it turns and goes down. Yep. Well, that washed out not too long ago. I suppose that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. I think, you have to,
That's a minimum maintenance road also.
well, Jim said, we're not broke. He says, does the county have money? He said, to do that, do you have money? I said, well, I've got $10,000 is what's budgeted for culverts. I said, so there's some there, but I said, if we spend it all on every township road, that's.
I just think that's poor policy to have a policy like that in place. It can be done, it doesn't happen very often, it can be done on a case-per-case basis, and the whole commission can take action on it. I don't know why the commission would pawn off that responsibility to the water board chairman and the road boss. It isn't your job to be put in an adversarial position with the township. It's not fair to do that.
I'd like to help. If we
But that's not the point.
No, I know.
And I don't know. I just think that
Well,
I would like to unwind that resolution for
Well, I think
starters.
that should go on the agenda for next meeting to
Review that
review that resolution.
because that's craziness. I think.
Well,
It also, if you're a good township supervisor, you're never going to put in a culvert that's less than 48 inches.
well,
I mean, that's, and all that will do is cause trouble if you started doing that, because the guy down the road, or the guy on the bottom of the hill is going to get a lot more water a lot faster. I mean, that whole thing doesn't seem very well thought out to me.
Well, it should never be.
It's just a pathway
Like you said, it
to
shouldn't
conflict. I mean, it need not be there. I mean,
Well, see, I don't think they wanted to, every time some township person come in and said, well, can the county help me pay for this culvert?
right.
And then the next commissioner's meeting, somebody else comes in.
So
If you say no a couple times,
so they want to say yes, and everybody know that, say yes once?
well, if they're on township roads, it's not the county's responsibility. The townships levy taxes.
Yeah.
for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yep, I had a great advisor from way up northern Griggs County that was in my office the other day, ex-water board, and he said, I don't think that's your responsibility. I said,
It isn't.
don't say I said that.
No, but
Maybe
I,
you should go to some council, he said, to, at least at the township attorney over in Portland or Mayville, but Tom over that.
Mo, what, we don't need an attorney to make this decision, do we?
All you have to do is rescind that motion.
Yeah.
Take it away
Yep.
somehow.
and I mean, there might be,
Unless, like you say, John, in the future.
there might be circumstances where the township road is a feeder to a county road that provides a lot of commerce to the county. I mean, there might be a instance where maybe we do,
We can deal with them one at a time.
but this, yeah, we would deal with this one, and first we better look at the culvert and see how bad it is, and then we better talk to Tyrell Township and see what exactly.
Well, it's on a minimum maintenance road. I would say no, the county's not going to participate in this
Yeah.
particular project because
There's more than one culvert in this.
There's two culverts there, 60 inch and then I don't know if it's a 36
It was
or
one on one road too, wasn't it?
Uh,
So the 3 roads they were crossing. It's out of that Norway Lake.
Yeah, well, if it comes out of Norway Lake, and it
Yeah.
goes through the concrete one that they don't think is deep enough, and then
Yep.
and it goes to by Robert Brooks's north of his place. It goes through some culverts there.
Yep.
Then it goes down to that Zimprick. Then it goes to the Macro Road.
Yeah.
There's two.
where's Norway Lake? North of Jesse?
Northwest of Rickford's up in there. Straight north of Rickford's.
Well, if you straight north of Lorne, no, it's not there neither.
No, it's,
It's if you go up, we call it the Jesse Road. Turn to Jesse and go north.
Towards
It's up by that missile base, where that old missile base used to be up there by past Mark and Henry Zimpricks.
yeah.
Half a mile up there, you take a left. And it goes
It's up
all the
by
way across to
Anderson's?
Nicky and.
okay, yeah, go, if you go to number 1, you know where you go to Mark Willow's turn, just go past Mark Willow's and it'll run right into Norway Lake, and the road bends around the south side of the lake. Yeah. And so if you keep going there, you'll come right out a mile south of Art Anderson's.
Oh,
Right, actually off his house, you'll come right out in the corner of Art's land there, and the missile's right across, and Henry or Mark's is just down the road.
yeah.
A mile and a half.
Okay.
You can talk to Jim.
We had to make a decision then. He called the other day, he said, what did you decide? I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, I've only got the $10,000, and if something happens, there's a long time until the end of the year.
Yeah.
If something happens on a county road, I said, then maybe we can come up with some other emergency.
Well, we don't have money,
No,
appropriate.
but it's not appropriated, I said it's.
And I don't think Jim will have a problem with it.
No,
The only reason he is inquiring is because if it's available and people are using it,
Right.
yeah.
they wanted to use it.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is, nobody ever remembers it being used since that one time. And I don't think it's a good policy.
Okay.
So I should just tell them probably not.
Is the decision made by us three?
Yes.
And Bob's in that township, he shouldn't even participate in the whole deal. And you and I already voted no, so I guess that's a decision. Okay?
That's all I got. Quite a bit.
It's an easy decision when it's dry out.
That was Floyd Schultz, you didn't want to talk to him, did you?
Mm-mm. What's he fixing?
I imagine he wants to buy something, otherwise he wouldn't be calling me.
Great. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Wayne. Huh?
Is that the plumber?
Closed yesterday.
They're in the new courthouse fixing the sink.
Right now?
So,
And they were coming today,
nice
last
to
week.
meet
The motor gas was
75 now.
So I should call him?
75 tomorrow, so
Floyd was coming?
get them cows
I
out.
know the plumber.
I thought Agassi, I thought,
Is that who it is?
well, they were the ones that did it.
I contacted Agassi and
Did they say they were gonna fix it, or did they tell us to?
I sent the
jump off
pictures.
cliff?
I sent the pictures to Ellen, and I've called him 3 times since, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Oh,
Bob got back to me this morning and said, letting you know the plumber was here earlier in the week and looked over the issue and etc. He is scheduled to be here today to finish the repair. I will keep you updated.
It could be Agassi too. They never said they weren't going to do it. He just said it wasn't under warranty anymore. I said, well, I have an argument with that.
He just said plumber is all, he didn't say who.
No, he didn't say who.
It was just under warranty until somebody turned the water on and the warranty went on.
Well,
where is Bob around?
He was around today, yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter which plumber. Well, it does kind of
does,
matter
because
because we're gonna
they-
have to pay for it if somebody else does it. But are you gonna text him? Okay. Tax abatements. Looks like we have one for the city of Benford,
2.
2 for Benford. Same person.
Was it 2 people with the property for 1 owner, or what is it?
Must be
It's
2 years.
2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
14 evictions.
2 abatements for the same person for 2 different tax years. And the city of Benford already approved them both, looks like.
Then I'd make a motion, we approve the tax abatement for 2014-15 for Patricia Hall.
Been moved by Sean to approve the tax abatement for 2014 and 15 for Patricia Hall. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean? Aye. Troy votes aye. Motion carries. No. We sent these in a while ago, or?
Yes, I just had a quick question. I have a note to put this cost share ad in the paper,
Okay,
and this is the way it went in last year.
okay.
Me and Wayne had just a few questions about it, though, how you guys would like to do it, because it says eligible for up to 33%, and chemical using Tordon. Well, if I remember correctly, I think we're paying out 100% of these people's chemical, and then I know the county did get 100% reimbursement last year. But now that we didn't do a report for last year's, and that'll come, I think, this year. And so I do have these are what we did send in, so just wondering how you guys wanted the ad to look.
Well, we either have to have the landowner pay a percentage, or we have to put a limit on the total that they can use up. Because
Yeah.
what we have is the whole funding used up by a few different people, so that it's not available to everybody.
That is how it should read somehow.
Either a limit or a percentage, and because the percentage will limit it,
Well, it can be,
or both. A percentage up to a limit.
Up to
it could be up to 100% reimbursement. Like in this, this LAP program, reimbursement of expenses is 100% of actual up to the total grant amount. So we can reimburse people 100%
Up to a limit.
until we use it all. But we should probably state that it will be dependent on how much the program is used. Because if we have applications for $24,000 and then we have a $12,000 grant, then we can reimburse 50%.
Yeah, but then we'll have to set a deadline so that all applications are in by a deadline and then apportion it accordingly.
Yep.
Yeah. Or we could set a limit up to X amount of dollars, or a percent up to X amount of dollars, and then just let the fund carry over.
Right.
If there's a surplus.
And then this tag program is 75% of actual.
I'm trying to formulate how it should read.
And in there, it doesn't specify for Tordon either, so.
I don't know why
Does it
that.
have to say a percentage? It should be, will be eligible for cost share
Yep.
based on participation or the funds available? You know, so it's, because like you said, if there's not very many people who use it, they'll get 100%, and if everybody comes in, then they get 30% or 10% or.
Yeah.
In the past years, we've gotten we've gotten a few people participate, but not very many, so.
Right.
And that's where we've been doing 100%, but I didn't want to put this in again when it says up
We
to
didn't
30.
use it all last year, did we?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So anybody that applied got 100% cost.
Yep.
That's the way Dale stated it, clarifies it based on participation.
Okay, and then do you want me to take out the Tordon chemical used? Or, because don't think in here we found anything about the chemical.
I think on spurge you have to use Tordon.
You do, yeah.
That keeps guys from spraying it on non-crop acres, crop acres too. Throttles back to the chance of cheating.
So keep Tordon in there?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
So,
Could be Tordon or Plateau, probably.
producers spraying their own non-cropland acres
that changed?
What's that?
Supposed to get that changed?
I'm gonna need to change. I was gonna talk to you guys about both counties going on a phone today.
It's fine. Got that whipped up for her?
I think so, we'll try it. Producers spraying their own non-cropland acres will be eligible for up to 100% chemical reimbursement, parentheses, TORDON, dependent on available funding and program usage. Paid invoice must accompany requests for reimbursement. Requests are due in the auditor's office by December 1st, 2016, with payments to follow.
There is an application that they fill out when they come in, but
Apparently this thing, 12/31/16, okay.
can I rip this off?
Put State's Attorney's cell phone on the next agenda.
And then how many weeks do you want that to run?
3, probably.
That's what me and Lane were thinking too.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna get any coverage, you'd almost have to at least run it 3 times.
Okay. Perfect.
I still won't get it.
Well, I won't see it because I don't read the paper anymore. That's so sick of them. Was anybody up at the big Benford event in the paper?
Oh, the party / wholesale, no?
No, that's fine. I'm not very happy with
It's still there after 11 o'clock.
Is that when you gave up the ghost? You went home and went to bed at 11?
Well, no.
Well, I didn't know what place to right before you know.
Is there still people having big fun then?
Um,
Was it full?
full,
Nikki?
full, still out in the street yet.
Really?
Mm.
Mark and Nikki had a better day than anybody else, huh?
Yeah. Wholesale are good for something.
Well, I'll try to get taken care of. If I can't get someone from your office to sign, I'll probably see you.
Okay, new courthouse, old courthouse. Jamie wants to talk to us. Does anybody else have anything other than the plumber?
We talked to Lane about the grounds and
Did you talk, did Bob get back to you?
he will.
Jamie, earlier this week you indicated that Gosted and what's his name wanted to talk to the commissioners.
Gosset's gonna be able to talk by phone. Giggler had to have his wisdom teeth taken out this morning or yesterday afternoon, so he's not available. But Gosset wants to talk to you guys briefly for the mediation.
About what?
The one thing I know that he wants to talk with you guys about, and we've talked about it before, and I've told him that you guys all want to be there, but he wants to speak to you guys about appointing one representative to go on behalf of the commission. He's more concerned about open meetings laws, but as I told him before, that
Won't affect open meetings laws. If the one commissioner has a decision-making authority, it's an open meeting.
it's a meeting anyway. You're exactly right. Or if there's a committee that's chosen, it's still a meeting. So, I told him
It didn't cause a problem last time.
no, there was no problem last time.
Yeah.
So that's fine. He wanted, and I don't know if he has any other issues he wants to talk to you guys about, but that's what he wanted to bring up with you guys. That's what I know for sure that he wants to talk to you guys about, and and I wanted you guys to hear from
Well,
him.
I had Samantha put executive session on the agenda, but that's not an executive session issue.
No, that's not an executive
So-
session issue. But I don't know what else he wants to talk about. I don't know if he wants to talk about anything else or not.
Well, you better.
It can't be, we can't call executive session until we know the exact topic of the discussion, because there's a whole bunch of things that don't fall under the executive session.
Right.
You get into trouble because you're talking about something that you didn't name the topic.
Right.
So without it first having a topic of discussion, you can't call a general.
That's right, and I don't know what else he wants to talk about, so we don't need it. It could possibly need to go into executive session if he brings something that we don't want to be discussed, but we might not need it in executive session.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like, for the sake of keeping everything open, there's nothing that we're really gonna talk about. I can't imagine that at this point that would have any bearing on this case. This case is straightforward. We just want someone to decide whether or not the lease agreement is valid or not.
Right.
And there is no extenuating circumstances for this thing. But
So you're gonna call him now?
Yeah, I can sure call him wrong.
Okay.
so this is Gossett or Giggler?
This is
Disgusted.
All right.
He was treating his dry sockets.
Sucking on them all.
Grand Forks.
Hi, is Dan Gossett available? This is Jamie calling from the commission meeting in Griggs County. Hey Dan, it's Jamie calling from the commission meeting. I've got the commissioners here. We're in an open meeting right now, and I don't believe that we'll need to go into an executive session to discuss what you had brought up to me earlier this week. If you think differently, if we have other topics that you want to discuss, let us know and we can figure if we need to go into an executive session or not.
Okay. There is one topic that we may want to discuss, and that's attendance at the mediation. But I can go through what the information I got from the mediator today. Maybe I'll open it up to questions for the commissioners if they have questions about the mediation or process or anything like that.
Okay. One thing that I've already discussed with the commissioners, and one of the concerns that I think that you had was the attendance of the commissioners at the mediation. You're concerned about open meetings. I've spoken with the commissioners about this previously, as you have, and I guess if you want to speak with them about it, I think their answer is going to be that we haven't had any problem before in a previous mediation with open meetings violations, and even if there's a committee or two people that are chosen by the commission to represent the county, we're still going to end up in a situation where we have to have a meeting and have to have it announced. So I'll let you speak to them and give your opinion, and we can go from there, I guess.
Well, it does lend itself to it's going to be a meeting, and if you're going to go into, you'll have to go into executive session. You'll have to notice it up, and you'll have to record that the entirety of that executive session, which could be an all-day event. You can't stop the recording during
We're still here.
Okay.
I guess there was never any concern about having to record what was going on behind closed doors in the mediation. If we had to call executive session, I guess I don't think it's going to have any bearing on anything personally. Like I said, we spent the better part of a day mediating with the building authority a little over a year ago, and that's exactly what happened. We called a meeting and went to executive session. It was recorded, and it didn't seem like it proved to be troublesome or burdensome or anything. I guess there's 3-4 other commissioners here that were there right now, and if they felt that it was burdensome, they could definitely speak up, but I don't think it caused any trouble for anybody.
So Dan, John Wakefield, what were your specific concerns then? Is it just that this is being recorded and that it might influence or have an effect on the possible future litigation?
What it does, John, is that you want to have candid, frank discussions with the mediator, and if everybody knows that that's being recorded, and as we all know, that's then subject to disclosure later on once the litigation is completed, it may have an impact. I can't tell you that it does or doesn't, but it may have an impact on those type of frank discussions that will occur with the mediator.
I can envision a scenario where that might be a concern. I can't envision a scenario in this particular action where that could be a concern. I think the mediation is going to be fairly straightforward. We need an answer to the question of whether or not that lease agreement is valid or not. We can't move forward without that answer.
Right, but the mediator's not going to reach a conclusion on that. I mean, he's not going to opine and make somebody. I get that's an issue for the commission, and that's an issue for the building authority, and that's an issue to be discussed in the mediation.
That is, as far as I can see, that is the only issue, and there is a point that I don't think there will be much need for negotiation if we can't, as far as I'm concerned, if we can't agree on that one issue, the mediation has been lost, and we'll have to move on to get a determination on that. So that's why in this particular instance, I don't think that there will be a whole lot of negotiation, because we're hard and fast as far as we're deadlocked, Dan, as far as the commission goes. There was no money allocated over and above what the county's already put into this. There's no funds available.
John, I think that rather than getting into the merits here during this meeting, we can discuss that maybe in a different venue at this juncture. I'm not sure. I get that you guys are not inclined to, or you are inclined to have everybody participate, and you've made your decision. I'm not sure getting into merits of the keys at this point will be fruitful, and I think it might be, well, it should be when we get into the mediation process.
I'd prefer to discuss this with you in person, but I'll let that stand for a while.
Dan, as far as what's needed from us for the mediation on the 3rd, what do we need to get ready to prepare for? I know you said that there's a request from Wick Corwin requesting a statement from each side and requesting some the discussion with the attorneys, what does the commission need to do in order to prepare for this? What do you expect from the commission? You and I can talk afterwards today or first part of next week about what we need to get prepared. But what do you expect from the commission? And I guess what do you expect from me for this too?
Well, as I understand it, he would like to have a conference with the attorneys in advance of the mediation. So a date that you're available, Jamie, to have that conference.
Okay.
I think that the second part of it
Is that a phone conference or is that a live conference?
Yes.
Phone conference.
phone.
Okay, I did email you back dates that I'd be available. I'll be available Monday morning. I've got court on Tuesday, and I'll be available Wednesday and Thursday morning. I have court on Friday morning. I will be probably try to be out of the office so I can get some field work done the rest of that time on the afternoons. But if I need to be available, I can be available in those afternoons too.
Sure. And Doug is obviously not available today due to his so I'll wait to hear from him and see what his availability is, and we'll schedule a date and time to do this. The only other thing is generally, and I think Wick was thinking some sort of confidential statement, mediation statement, be provided to us so we have a sense as to what the case is all about and the issues and things like that. I would expect that between Jamie, Doug, and myself, we should be able to prepare that agreement. So I don't think the commissioners or that letter, necessarily are not asking anything as far as that's concerned in drafting that. So I'm not really sure what I don't think there's anything that they need to do in advance of that mediation.
Okay, well that's all I have. No, I just wanted to, you say that you'd like to speak to the commissioners about the attendance, and that's all I have right now. I just wanted you to speak to them yourself about that. I don't have anything else unless the commissioners have anything else.
Yeah, I do. This is strictly my point of view here, Doug. I think going forward, any negotiations have to involve the commission. I don't feel comfortable with the three lawyers and the mediator getting together and making implications or judgments about what the commission's point of view on this might be. I don't think that's proper, and it certainly isn't in the best interest of the taxpayers and the commission. So conferences without our involvement seem to be of the backroom variety, and I don't think that's what we want to. I don't think that's what we want to have here. This has to be out in the open. This is all about the taxpayer and what we're trying to take or bind them to. They have to be a part of that decision. They have to be a part of that decision making, and the county commissioners are the only people that represent the taxpayers in this equation. Why would you not want our participation, or why would you not want us to be privy to the conversations that are had between the parties involved here?
Hello?
I'm here. It was a request from the mediator to have a conference with the attorneys. I will advise him that it's the commissioners are demanding that they participate in that conference as well.
No, I said it was my opinion. We'll have to make a decision on. We'll have to make a decision on that. And I don't think it would be the demand. I think it would be I think the mediator should have certainly have offered that to us, and so should have our attorneys. But I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if the other 4 commissioners are in agreement. That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, and I've done mediations with Mr. Corwin in the past, and I've had that conference in the past. My client wasn't on the phone at the time.
Dan, what does that conference consist of?
Basically, just having a discussion about what the issues are. That's been my experience. Not a, I think it's just trying to get the team educated.
I have to ask a question then, Dan. What are the issues?
Well, I think there's been exchanges of proposals, and hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And I think there's been exchanges between the parties. So that's where everybody lies. I mean, I'm not sure what you want me to say here.
Well, go ahead.
This Troy, you're recommending that you folks meet with the mediator without any involvement to the commission. And the reason that question was asked of you, Dan, is, okay, you're talking to the mediator, what are the issues?
I think the issues are that you guys want to terminate the lease. There's been a demand made for payment of fees. That's an issue. Those seem to be the primary concerns here. And what happens to that litigation going forward? That's what you're trying to mediate is can you resolve the claims or not?
The termination of the lease would be the result of a favorable finding for our side of this. We need a judgment. We need a finding on whether or not the lease agreement is valid or not. If it is valid, we don't have anything going forward. If it isn't, then the termination and possible payment come into play. And I think that's the key issue in this whole thing. I don't think anything else is just doesn't do much good. This isn't like we're arguing about money. We're arguing about a principle and how to move forward.
I think we're prepared to live with either answer, Doug. We just need somebody, a neutral third party, to determine the validity of the lease.
Preferably a jury.
Preferably a jury. And then, if the court tells us this is the way it is, we can live with it either way. But we need to know that before we can plan to move forward.
But we're not going to get that. We're not going to get that answer in mediation.
And Dan has already stated that, and I don't disagree with that. That's why I think it's a waste of time.
That's exactly why we voted as a commission not to go to mediation.
Right. No, I know that. I understand that.
You can't mediate a yes or no question.
You can meet. Right.
That's all I had. I just...
Say, Dan, did you hear Dale's response? And I think that sums it up about as nicely as you can. You cannot mediate a yes or no question. And I think that is where this is.
Hello?
Well,
mediation
I-
scheduled, and I get that you want that determination made. That determination about whether the lease is valid is not going to be rendered at the mediation. I suppose it could be, depending on how things get resolved, how it gets discussed.
It's possible that they could be that it could come around to that point of view. That again, I'm not against mediation. I'm just. We have to start right from the basic issue, and the basic issue has to be the defining issue in this all through it. So let's just mediate it and see where it takes us.
I guess I need, if we're going to go forward, and I trust we are, I'm going to need, given some of the comments, whether you want us to participate in this conference with the mediator in advance or not. And if you don't, I'll let them know. Without the full commission present. And then he'll decide whether he wants to have the conference or not. Maybe he doesn't.
Right. Do you?
What's that?
I don't care. Do you?
I personally am against a conference without the commission being involved because first impressions are first impressions, and I want the mediator to be fully aware of the circumstances, and only the people that are directly involved with these circumstances can best explain it. And that certainly is us. And it's not us, it's taxpayers. So,
With that said, do you guys want to approve that confidential statement then? Do you want to hold a meeting and approve that confidential statement before it's sent to the mediator?
What's a confidential statement for?
It's the outline of the issue. It was the outline of the issues and the standing of the county in the case that the mediator wants from us.
well, can we see, typically that's a written document that the mediator sends out to both parties involved and asking for their expectations and asking for what they're willing to settle for. Is that correct, Dan? That's when I've been involved in mediation. That's what's happened.
It can, a variety of things can, but generally what you're doing is you're explaining the case, right? Because they're not following this.
No.
And explaining, this is what the claims are, these are the defenses, these are the good things about the case, these are the bad things about the case. And you don't have to, you can say this is what we think the settlement can be, it doesn't have to be included. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule, but that's generally what you're trying to do, is to educate the mediators so that they can identify, okay, how do we get this resolved? I mean, the mediator's goal is to try to resolve this thing so they walk away with a resolution.
Yeah. I guess in my prior, and it's been limited, but what's happened is the actual legal documents that brought about the suit and the countersuit would be presented to the mediator, and that's the basis for the starting point. But maybe that's not maybe it's not that way in this case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there isn't an instruction sheet that Mr. Corwin has provided. So this is what I want.
Right.
It's generally just trying to give him or her, wherever the mediator is, some sense as to what the case is about, some sense as to, what are the favorable issues, what are the unfavorable issues, so that they understand. Now, if you want the commission, it seems to be to make it more pragmatic, maybe Jamie should be drafting the mediation agreement.
Well, don't you think?
Mediation statement, if there is one going to be provided. I don't even think that, there isn't a mandate either. There's no rules. If you don't provide the statement, it's off. There's none of that either.
Well, under your scenario, then, who makes a determination on whether or not the facts put to the mediator are factual or not? if we're not using the basis, if we're not using the actual
I guess
lawsuits.
I'm trying to use my own knowledge of what the case is. You'll have to rely upon either myself, Mr. Giggler, or Mr. Tennyson in that regard. If the commission, if they allow us to prepare it. You're right. You would have to rely upon the attorneys to do that.
So you would prepare it, and then it would become before the commission in order to approve it?
If that's the way you wanted it, it seems to me if that's the case, it might be from a pragmatic standpoint, being Jamie is there, then he can prepare it.
Then I'd be inclined to just use the filings that we've already filed with the court as a basis for the mediation, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, and the mediator doesn't have that. He's not going to go out and
No.
download a copy and print off various pleadings.
Well, we ought to provide that to him, I would think.
And indeed, that's kind of the basis, right? In my experience, I will, if I think there's a document that would help the mediator understand, like a map or something. You know, I just got done with mediation about 3 weeks ago. Here's a map. It wasn't necessarily in the record. Here's a map of the area. It gave him or her some assistance to understand. But and I provided them copies of the complaints, of copies of things that are recorded too.
I think it's probably just fine that you prepare the document. All we're asking for is to see it before it's given to the mediator. That's not asking too much with email and whatever nowadays, is it?
Sure, I think though that there should be input at least from Mr. Jennison and Mr. Giggler.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, I agree.
I guess I can sit down and it's going to take an hour to prepare this document at the most. I mean, I think I can, in the time that we probably conversed, I could have whipped up the document. I mean, it's not going to take that long. I mean, I can do it over the weekend and get something sent out to you guys on Monday morning or sometime Monday, and it is what it is, I guess. We'll get it done, and instead of wondering about who's going to prepare the darn thing.
Well, so the basis of it should be the pleadings that were already filed. I mean,
Right.
that is the basis of it. Otherwise, it's subjective. We can make up anything. They can make up anything.
Well,
they want.
and
They're not held.
right.
They're not held to fact.
I think I think the main documents that need to be provided is the lease agreement and the payment documents and the pleadings.
Yep.
It's not about anything else.
I just did for your own edification, Jamie. I wouldn't inundate him with volumes of documents. Try to. It should be a short statement. Here, this is it. Here's the lease agreement. But that's been my experience with mediators. Is if you inundate them with a stack full of paper.
You're saying if you overload them with paper, they don't do their job?
I think if you overload them with paper, they're I wouldn't say they're not going to do their job, but we need to educate them,
Right.
and make them understand without giving them a pile of paper.
Well, I think if you guys, I know that you and Joe prepared some statements earlier showing the payments that the county has made and
And the lease agreement.
the lease agreement. I think that's all that's needed If you guys still have that document that you guys prepared, the lease agreement, the pleadings, and that document.
I think you can simply represent to them. I mean, that's fine, Jim. I'm just saying, when you're doing this letter, you can represent to them, hey, this is the information that we have gathered, and this is what it is. If he wants to take a look at it during the mediation, we can certainly have all of that available to him.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do, a concise statement of these are what the facts are, these are the issues. And if there's a document or something that needs to be provided to him because you can't concisely describe it,
Right.
you can certainly give it to him. I mean, there aren't any rules here. I'm not trying to tell you don't or not. I mean, just,
No, but John was right. I mean,
I'm trying to give you my experiences here.
we're really just gonna throw pleadings together, a condensed complaint together, and that's the facts, and we'll be done with it.
The front page of the lease agreement sums it up. Here's each party's responsibilities. That's it.
All right, well, we got that taken care of. I'll get something done by Monday morning or sometime during the day of Monday. Like I said, I'm at court on Monday or Tuesday and Friday, and I'm gonna try to farm in between them too. So,
What about the conference call? What's the position of the commission on that?
Well, is the document you send them going to be in addition to the conference call? Is the conference call going to lay the groundwork and provide facts?
My experience with Mr. Corwin is that he likes the statement and the conference call. That's been my experience with him. Again, there's no hard and fast rule that's an absolute. That's been my experience with him.
Right, but I mean, is the conference call strictly for scheduling purposes, or is it to provide facts to the mediator in addition to the documents provided?
Yeah, I don't think I think in my last mediation was I sent the mediation statement, and then there was a conference call. So maybe he had questions about it. I don't remember the precise details, but I don't know if I'm answering your question. There may be some facts that are discussed that may not appear in the settlement statement just because of the nature of the questions that are raised or the conversation that occurs.
Well,
We can talk about that and make a decision and just stay in contact with Jamie, can't we?
Sure, just let me know.
Okay.
I won't schedule anything at this point.
Well, you guys just go ahead and schedule. Where you need to keep the ball rolling here. We don't want to hold that process up, Dan. If we decide we want somebody to sit in on that, we'll get them in the same room with Jamie when the time comes.
That's fine too.
Okay?
Yeah. No.
thank you, Dan.
Is that it?
That's all I have.
that's all I have.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks, Dan.
So we're scheduled for May 3rd,
9 o'clock here.
9 o'clock here.
It's coming fast, so
Sure is.
I mean, if you folks feel that there should be somebody listening in on the conversation with the mediator, then we need to make that decision. And how many, whatever the wishes are, and then we'll probably just have. I mean, there's a lot of people involved at this point on that call. So if those three guys get something put together, we're just gonna have to clear off a spot to get there if that's what everybody wishes are. I kind of think almost a representative would probably be enough from the commission, because we're just trying to make sure that this thing stays on the rails from our standpoint is really what our issue is here, right?
Correct. There's only one issue
The lease.
That's it. I mean, so
That's the only question we've asked as a
that's the
commission.
only question we've asked, and our law, and the suit was very simple.
Yep.
It's just what is our commitment under this lease agreement? Is there a commitment under this lease agreement? So
So what do you guys think about the conference call portion of this process?
If there's one person just to listen in to, like you said, to make sure we stay on track with what our intent was.
you can look at it two ways. First impressions of the mediator make a big difference. What is his impression of who's right and who's wrong here? And that's influenced by this position paper. And it shouldn't be influenced by a conference call that, or any subjective conversations, because it has to be based on fact. Taking that into account, this is not binding arbitration.
That's
So no matter what, no matter how biased the mediator might or might not be against one side or the other, unless we get what our goals are out of this mediation, we're not bound by anything.
Everybody has a button.
Yeah. So it all depends on which game you want to try to play. And it isn't a game; it is a yes or no question, as Dale correctly stated. So somebody can listen in. If nothing else, it would give us some insight into where everybody stands. And it either might inspire admiration or the opposite for our legal team. So, when's it going to be, Jamie?
That'll be next week.
Sometime next week. Won't be Tuesday. I've got court here Tuesday.
Yep.
I'm trying to skip one afternoon.
Are you going to take the call here or wherever you are at?
Wherever I'm at, but
Yeah.
I'll try to get it to work out. So I'll try to be here.
Why don't you listen in, Troy?
Well, I probably won't be here.
Oh, you won't be here.
I mean, most likely.
Dale?
Next week, I don't know what
Well, let's do this. If I'm up in the Florida, I can make a quick run to Macville. And set it up for the afternoon, so I'm on the way. I can
15 minutes before the meeting. I didn't know if I was coming today because I had a count one foot upside down. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Peter call Troy by then.
But if we do
Sean?
it that way, I would have to be there, right?
In the same boat he is.
What's that?
I don't know. Do we need Samantha? No, we're not doing anything. We're just listening.
Okay.
I don't think it's any sort of open meetings situation.
So it's not like a
There's
committee or
no
anything.
decision making process. So.
Well, there's only one person that's going to be there.
Or would it be easier not to have anybody there? I don't know.
It's up to you guys. I don't care either way.
I mean, if you're there and report back to us, there is no.
And I guess I'm not beyond what's in that statement. I don't plan on saying anything. That's all I need to know.
You intend to tell them that we need a decision, and that is the linchpin of this whole thing, and beyond that,
It really doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. I mean, we could give the concession. The concession would be we'll.
Well, I mean, there's still a way to achieve that by if they agree to dismiss the corner thing and agree that they've
That the lease
stipulate that they violated, they breached the lease, we still can get a judgment. So it's,
I don't think the building authority even has the authority to make the statement. Because the bondholders are gonna take issue with it, and it'll end up in court anyway. There's no possible way for this thing to get settled in mediation. It can't happen.
No, I don't think it can. But let's try. So I'm fine with Jamie just talking to him then, as long as they're sending us a statement that we get to read.
Okay.
And okay, I'm fine with it as far as, I don't know if you guys are or not. But
Yeah, I think so.
We'd have to have a special meeting between now and the mediation, correct?
we will have in order to review.
The statement.
Do you guys have
Can
a
we try to
date or
set-
just want to
can we
get
try
back?
to set that on Tuesday afternoon? I'm in town. I should go downstairs and check to see what the last court is, so we can set it after that.
Well, I'll make a motion to take a 5-minute break.
One second.
So Jamie gets back.
We're gonna move to second and then we take a 5-minute break. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Black dog salad.
Call the meeting back to order.
Norm from this old house go crazy.
I have court until, well, my last hearing is at 1:45, and that's only last 5-10 minutes, so I would think by 2.
2 o'clock Tuesday.
Can we have a document first? I mean, can we look at, so we
Should have a document Monday.
I'll get it sent to them Sunday night, Monday morning, and have them go through it, and,
Yeah, we need the final draft of this, we can look at it before we get in.
yeah. Should have it Monday night.
We just need to get 3 of us here, just to, okay.
Or Tuesday doesn't work out, I'll be driving back and forth too, so.
Should work.
Going back to an earlier topic about the old courthouse, new courthouse, I guess we're still on it. Text back from Bob. Breckheimer stopped to look the other day. He is to be back today. Haven't heard from him yet. As soon as he gets it, I will patch up the wall. We'll advise you as soon as it's done.
Breckheim was the one that did the original plumbing,
Yeah, I know that.
so maybe I guess he did take care of it then.
Not yet, but he's-
He doesn't work for Legacy anymore. Does he?
No. But he must have subcontracted all of them.
Motion to adjourn.
But it's been moved by Dale to adjourn. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned. We'll have a special meeting on Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. and the next regular meeting will be on May 8th at 1 p.m. And we are adjourning
May 6th.
at
May 6th.
May 6th. Oh, Took my reading glasses off. 242.
What's that?
Need a lift?
Yeah.